Leon, your favourite's actually next, or the one that you say is your favourite, but I don't think it will be much for much longer with that cleric.
No, Paladin's not my favourite. Cleric is by far my favourite thing in this whole book.
Okay.
Paladin is one of my favourite subclasses, but to be honest, there's not really much for the Paladin in this book, to be honest. Starting with the optional class features, you have spellcasting, so you get a few extra spells: Gentle Repose, Prayer of Healing, Warding Bond, Spirit Shroud, which is a new one, and Summon Celestial, which is also a new one. Don't have any problems with that. Gentle Repose is one of those spells which I probably wouldn't ever bother with as a Paladin. I can't think of a situation where a Paladin would be the best place to use that spell. And like you said, it's incredibly situational. Prayer of Healing, Warding Bond, they just make sense for the Paladin, to be honest.
Do you think someone at the Wizards is like kicking themselves at the minute because they're just like, why the fuck did we not put these spells on this list anyway? Because every single one we've just went, huh? Like, I need to keep saying this. I keep saying it that, oh, this is obvious, but no, seriously, Wizards, this was fucking obvious. Like,
yeah,
what? Like,
it's true.
So yeah, keep going.
All right, we've got a couple of new fighting style options. We've got Blessed Warrior, which gives you a couple of cantrips from the cleric spell list. So you can finally have cantrips as a paladin, which is cool if you want to use it as your fighting style. And then you've got blind fighting, which we spoke about in the last video, which is just meh. You get 10 feet of blind sight. What's the point, to be honest? What is the point? The one that I'm disappointed isn't on this list and that I would allow my players to choose from is I forgot what it's called, but the unarmed fighting
brawler.
Yeah, I would absolutely allow that. I just love the idea of being able to smite motherfuckers with my fists. So if any of my players want to use the brawler fighting style as a paladin, don't have a problem with it. I'll allow the smites. It's all good.
Monks and smiting paladins do a fist bump, and it's just like,
And then you've got interception, which is okay, and then the final feature that you got is harness divine power, which allows you to expend your channel divinity and swap it for a spell slot, depending on the whatever that you're doing. I think it's tied to a proficiency bonus or something like that, which is cool. Oh no, we've got one more. We've got martial versatility, so whenever you would get an ASI, you can replace a fighting style with another fighting style, which is cool. Although by level 4, you should have really figured out how your fighting style works and how it's affecting combat and stuff like that.
This is, I think, one of the things that this book has a bit of a problem with is choices.
Yeah.
It's like, they need to have more choices. And you're like, no, by this level, everything's sorted out, surely. But yeah, I get it.
I like there's a lot of choices. I just think that's not a choice that you should be making at level 4, you know? Anyway, we've only got 2 subclasses for the Paladin. One of them is the Oath of Glory, which has already been printed in Theros, so not going to go much into that. What I will say about this subclass is it's basically, it's basically Disney's Hercules. So until you get to, prior to level 20, you're basically Hercules when he's a half mortal, and by the time you get to 20, he's sacrificed his life to save Meg, and he's turned gold, and he's just smiting motherfuckers left, right, and center. I do have a player that's playing one right now in my Theros game, and if you want to learn more about that, go watch What Happened in Theros on the YouTube channel. It's very interesting, new series that I've been working on. And it's a really cool subclass. Really like it. The new one is, in terms of flavor, not really the best, to be honest. We have the Oath of Watchers. And, I think when they put in these little quotes from Tasha, it feels to me like Wizards are kind of telling you how they feel about the subclass. Because Tasha has said, these paladins aren't at all what I expected. Worse, they send home your party's best guests. Tasha doesn't really like this subclass. To be honest, it's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't think I would ever use one, but it's new, so let's delve into it a little bit. So basically, the Oath of the Watchers, they are part of orders which kind of protect realms from other realms.
Extra
basically.
planar, yeah, extra planar.
Yeah, so your mind flayers, your aboleths, all that kind of stuff. They watch out for that kind of stuff. Their tenets are, of course, vigilance, loyalty, and discipline. They get some new oath spells, and these are all kind of cool oath spells. If you're not too keen on the flavor of this subclass, there's definitely some decent features and spells that you'll get from it. So level 3, you've got Alarm and Detect Magic. Level 5, Moonbeam, See Invisibility. You know, these are the things that just make sense for a Watcher. Counterspell, Non-Detection, Aura of Purity, Banishment, which just makes sense. Hold Monster, and Scrying. You know, all things that are entirely thematically appropriate for a Paladin. However, would probably be better placed with the Wizard in the party, you know?
I'm kind of confused. Like, some of those spells, like, I know that the Paladin spells don't correlate with, like, the normal thing, but like to get Hold Monster and Scrying at level 17 seems a bit cheap. Like, you're a bit there, like, and I know that Paladins don't go up all the spell levels, but it's a bit like, really? Like, that's it?
That's it. Yeah, Hold Monster and Scrying. No damaging spells, but you can see anywhere, which you know is thematically appropriate. Anyway, but then we got the channel Divinity. As always, you get 2 options to use your channel Divinity with. So first one, you got Watcher's Will. As an action, you can choose a number of creatures you can see within 30 feet, equal to your Charisma modifier, and for 1 minute they have advantage on Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma saving throws. Very good situationally if you know what you're going up against. You know, if you're on a hunt for that aboleth, and you know as a character that aboleth is going to try and make you roll intelligence saves, then it will be a very good thing to have. Then you have Abjure, the Extraplanar. You can use your channel Divinity to cast. Let's try again. To castigate unworldly beings. As an action, you present your holy symbol, and each aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, or fiend within 30 feet of you that can hear you must make a Wisdom saving throw. And essentially, you get more. You get more creature options for Turn Undead. This is Turn Undead, but for all of those things that I just listed, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah,
it's a cool like thematic thing. Is you're just there like, no, fuck off, Ghost.
You know, like, do you know what? This would be incredibly useful in Avernus. You know, where you're just fighting fiends all day. Begone, fiends!
Yeah. So what do you think so far?
It's all right. It's an incredibly situational subclass. You need to have the right campaign. Like I said, Avernus would be an excellent campaign for this. If you're going to use it in a homebrew, out of the abyss as well, yeah. You know, if it's going to be a homebrew campaign, you're going to have to do a lot of work with your DM to make sure you're not going to be wasted on a lot of these abilities, I guess, especially the channel Divinity. But yeah, so far so good. We've got a couple more. Feats. So level 7. You get Aura of the Sentinel, so when you and creatures within 10 feet of you roll initiative, everyone gets a bonus equal to your proficiency. Again, another thing that's scaling with proficiency, which is happening a lot in this book. 15, you get Vigilant Rebuke. So you've learned how to chastise anyone who dares wield beguilements against you and your wards. That's such an interesting sentence. Whenever you're a creature you can see within 30 feet succeeds on Intelligence, Wisdom, or Charisma saving throw, you can use your reaction to deal 2d8 plus Charisma to whoever made them do that roll, which is kind of cool.
And force damage again.
Yeah, force damage. No one's immune, no one's resistant. And then finally, the level 20. Paladins always have the best level 20 shit, even if not mechanically, then flavor-wise. So level 20, totally. You manifest a spark of divine power in defense of the mortal realms. As a bonus action, you gain True Sight to 120 feet, advantage on attack rolls against aberrations, celestials, elementals, fey, and fiends. Interesting that demons aren't there. Do demons count as fiends, or am I making
They count as fiends.
Yes,
no, they count as fiends.
Good. Yeah, this would be excellent in Avernus. This would be really good in Avernus. When you hit a creature with an attack roll and deal damage to it, you can also force it to make a charisma save. If it fails, that creature is magically banished to its native plane of existence if it's not there. Which wouldn't be useful in Avernus, because everybody's just going to get nobody's going to get banished anywhere, unless you're fighting something that's not a fiend or a demon. But yeah, it's an okay subclass. For this section overall, I'm going to rate it a neutral. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. No thumbs up, no thumbs down. You know, the Glory Paladin was already there, and the Watcher isn't that great, so it's a neutral from me. How about yourself?
I'm of the same level. I think that thematically, Paladins are really cool.
Yeah.
Like thematically, and like as you get to higher levels, they thematically get even better.
Yeah.
But actually, when you look at the mechanics of it, you're a bit like, meh. Like cool. Like yeah.
Okay.
I think my favorite one's the Oath of Crown, and like that's not even like a cool one. That's literally you're loyal to your king. Like it's so dumb, but it's my favorite one.
Yeah, I think so far these two subclasses, they're probably out of the whole book so far. I wouldn't put any of these in the top 3 subclasses for the class, to be honest.
No, that's a video we need to make, isn't it? Our top 3 subclasses for each class. But yeah.